dear, oh dear. Now that Doctor Who's reaching the big 5-0 and can be safely regarded as middle-aged going on pensioner, I thought it would be a good idea to look back on the past of the show, all the old episodes from the 60s, 70s and 80s. Well, it pains me to say this, but I think I can safely say that classic Doctor Who sucks. And here's why. New Who is sometimes criticised by classic fans for being overly emotional to the point of being a soap, but the truth is that the problem does in fact lie in classic Doctor Who's utter naivety and ignorance when it comes to the simplest of human feelings. Let's take a look at Time Flight, for instance. Time Flight is a Peter Davison story, and notable only for the fact that it occurs after the death of Adric, one of the most shocking and upsetting losses the Doctor faces. Now, let me set up the scene for you. We're in the TARDIS, and his assistants are in disbelief and are understandably devastated by the loss of their friend, when the Doctor says this. Oh well, he wouldn't want us to mourn him unnecessarily. He wouldn't want us to mourn him unnecessarily. He wouldn't want us to mourn him unnecessarily. Yeah, sure, if I was Adric, I wouldn't want my death to ruin the Doctor's life. But I'll be damned if I don't just turn in my freshly dug grave if 5 minutes after my demise, the Doctor thinks it's about time to stop gaping like a 3-year-old still trying to comprehend why his pet rock doesn't talk back. The story before Time Flight, and incidentally one of the best classics out there, is Earthshock, the tale that reintroduces the Cybermen for the first time in, well, just about 7 years. And yet, the Doctor, and therefore the writers, script editors and so forth, fails to grasp the concept of emotion when confronting the Cyber Leader. Here's what he says. When was the last time you had the pleasure of smelling a flower, watching a sunset, eating a well-prepared meal? Yeah, that's one of the key aspects of having emotion according to the Doctor's otherwise profound pitch. This sentence ruins every ounce of respect we would have otherwise gained for the Doctor's noble attempt to define and advertise emotion to the Cybermen. Not only does it unintentionally paint the comedic image of a troop of Cybermen tucking into a lasagna by candlelight, but it also makes no logical sense. When was the last time you were emotionally overwhelmed by a risotto? Do you know what? I actually think the Cyber Leader has a better concept of emotion than the Doctor does.
Excellent. Fantastic. Oh, fan-dabby-dozy. I'm well chuffed and excited.
It even feeds into the McCoy years. The Curse of Fenric is one of the most highly rated Doctor Who stories out there, and yet when Ace is reading out a letter to a grieving widow about her husband who has been killed in action during the war, she doesn't stop at that piece of information. Oh no! She just carries on!
We regret to inform you that your husband is missing, presumed dead. One man reported seeing him shot several times in the leg and then once through the stomach, before the Germans found him and gave him a long painful death before eating his carcass like scavengers. We're sorry for your loss. Yours sincerely, Thomas Smith. Thomas Smith? Where have I heard that name before? Oh yeah, I used to play football with him. Lovely chap. Why are you crying?
So, there you have it. My undisputable arguments proving classic Doctor Who to be just plain trollop. You're Billy, aren't you? Who are you? I am usually referred to as the Doctor. What are you doing here? Just come here to set your mind straight about a few things, that's all, old chap. Oh yeah, and how could classic Doctor Who possibly redeem itself? Well, where better a place to start than the departure of the first companion back in the 1960s. The Doctor's speech to Susan in The Daleks' Invasion of Earth was written and delivered in a way that can only be described as heartfelt. I suppose so. And what about the Doctor leaving Jo in the Green Death? One of the final shots, in which the Doctor is driving away silent and sombre, contains no dialogue and yet speaks volume. A truly underrated moment in Doctor Who history, proving that Doctor Who has always had a heart. Possibly two. Very good. Thank you. I suppose you've got a point. As for your argument about the Doctor shoving Adric out of sight and out of mind, one of the Fifth Doctor's last words before he regenerated was Adric, proving that since Adric's shock death, the Doctor has still been living with this guilt all this time. Yeah, you're right. I'm not saying that classic Doctor Who was perfectly mature emotionally, but almost all television written at the time was a bit off when it came to feelings. That's true. Besides, I think you're missing the point. Classic Doctor Who has never really been about that side of things. It's always been about the adventure and the fascinating plots. Yeah, sure, it may not always work in the execution, but when it comes down to it, the concepts are so intriguing and enthralling and intelligent. Sometimes, when it comes down to it, it really is all about the story. So I just watched Spearhead from Space. It's Jon Pertwee's first story and he proves to be both intriguing and hilarious in his performance. The Autons are an incredibly sinister concept as well, and I really enjoyed seeing them on screen. The Two Doctors was amazing. I can't believe Colin Baker's era gets so overlooked when there are some true gems of it. Douglas Adams wrote City of Death, and it's amazing, and it's got a chicken in it. I loved Genesis of the Daleks, a wonderful story with an ethical dilemma at the centre of it. The tension is just paramount. The Five Doctors, my new favourite ever Doctor Who story. If the 50th anniversary is even half as good as this, I'll be a very happy man indeed. So, there you have it. Our beloved, quirky little science fiction show isn't as bad as I originally made out. I mean, the statistics speak for themselves. Classic Doctor Who doesn't suck. It's the best thing ever. Even Time Lash. Now that that's over, I can get on with proper Time Lord things like confronting slugs and playing with plug sockets. Looks like I'm not quite finished yet. You spell Eccleston wrong.
Right.
And you spelt Smith wrong.
Oh.
How did you spell Smith wrong?
I thought it had a silent X.
Besides, I think you're missing the point. Doctor Who has never really been about that. Oh!